Hello, Jared, and welcome listeners to Vibrations and Manifestations.
Hi, Alicia. Great to be here. And hello, everyone.
Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Okay, so today we're exploring something really fundamental. It holds, honestly, tremendous personal power, but it's maybe one of the most misunderstood concepts out there: forgiveness.
Oh, it's so loaded, isn't it?
Hmm.
That word just carries so much baggage.
Totally.
Most people hear forgiveness and, they immediately jump to thinking it's some kind of moral duty. Like they have to somehow approve of something awful that happened.
Or that it means weakness, right? Like you're just letting someone off the hook.
Exactly. And that whole framework, well, that's why so many people just shut down. They refuse to even engage with it.
And they end up locking themselves into these really exhausting patterns without even realizing it sometimes.
Right. So our mission today really is to kind of strip away all that moral stuff for a bit.
Yeah, let's look at it differently.
Let's look at forgiveness as like a purely functional, energetic process, almost like alchemy.
Ooh, I like that. Alchemy. Because
Mhm.
it really is about reclaiming your own life force, isn't it? Getting your energy back.
Spot on. Because if we could agree on just one thing to start, it's this.
Mm-hmm.
Every single moment you spend holding on to a grudge, replaying that conversation, that memory of betrayal, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
that creates what we call an open energy loop.
Okay, an open energy loop. Explain that a bit more.
Well, think about it. That loop, just to keep running, it needs energy.
Hmm.
Your energy, it's constantly drawing power from your system right now in the present.
So holding on to the past literally drains your present energy.
Measurably. It tethers a huge chunk of your resources, your focus, your vitality, your peace of mind to something that's already done, finished.
Wow. Okay. So this deep dive then is about understanding the mechanics of that, how those loops actually work biologically, psychologically.
Exactly. And more importantly, how you can actually close those circuits, stop the drain.
And redirect all that stuck energy back into your life today for creating things, for moving forward.
Precisely. So let's start by really defining the geometry of these loops. Let's look at the two main ways they show up for most of us.
Makes sense. Let's unpack it.
Okay, let's begin with the classic one, right? The person who hurt you, disappointed you, the one you feel should have known better.
Oh, yeah. That phrase, should have known better. It's potent.
It is. And that initial pain, the actual event, that's sharp. But the real cost, that comes later in the echo, the reverberation.
It's like the initial hurt is the principle on a loan, but replaying it over and over, that's the insane compound interest you're paying every single day.
That's a great way to put it. For months, maybe years, that one moment, that betrayal or loss, it becomes this neurological habit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it stops being just holding a memory and becomes something more active. It becomes an energetic subscription to the past.
An energetic subscription. Okay.
Yeah, and it's physiological. It's in your body. Your mind basically tells your body, okay, time to recreate the stress chemistry of that horrible moment every single time the memory pops up.
So you think about the person or the thing they said.
And boom,
Yeah.
instantly you feel it, right?
Yeah.
That familiar clench in your stomach, maybe your breath gets short, that tightness across your chest.
Yeah. I remember realizing years ago I had developed this anger tick. It was unconscious. Every time a certain person's name came up in conversation, even just in my head,
Mm-hmm.
my neck and jaw would physically tense up. Like I was bracing for a fight that happened, seriously, 5 years before.
Wow.
I was literally burning premium emotional fuel for a conflict that was long gone, just because my body got stuck rehearsing the chemistry.
That's a perfect example. And making that kind of commitment, running that old program, it forces us to ask a really uncomfortable question.
Which is,
If this feels so bad, if it's so draining, why do we keep doing it? Why keep paying that subscription fee?
right. There must be some perceived benefit, even if it's hidden.
Exactly. And this is where we get into the deeper psychology.
Mm.
Because while the anger, the resentment feels painful on one level,
Mm-hmm.
that grudge often gives us something, a hidden payoff.
Like protection.
Often, yeah. Protection is a big one.
Mm.
The anger feels like this powerful shield. It whispers to you, see, you won't be that vulnerable again. You won't be that foolish.
Makes sense. It feels like strength in the moment.
And the list of these payoffs, it's pretty long, and they all feel kind of righteous at the time, don't they?
Totally. Like the grudge proves your pain was valid. It confirms you are right and they were wrong.
Gives you that feeling of moral superiority. Keeps you in the good guy role in the story you tell yourself.
And for some people, it even becomes part of their identity, right? Like, I'm the one who was wronged.
Mm-hmm. And that identity can feel safe
Yeah.
in a weird way. It kind of absolves you from the messy work of moving forward, maybe taking responsibility for what happens next. The anger keeps you sort of emotionally barricaded.
But that shield is also a cage. That's the paradox.
Exactly. It keeps you safe, maybe, but it also keeps out connection, openness, creativity, life, really.
So letting go is hard because that anger is often guarding something else underneath.
Usually, yes. Often it's profound grief about what was actually lost, or just sheer terror about trusting anyone, or even yourself again.
Okay, so the release, the real moment, the loop closes and you get your energy back. That happens when...
That happens when you decide consciously that you're ready to put down the armor. When you realize the anger did its job, maybe it protected you for a while, but now it's actually blocking your future.
So forgiveness isn't about saying what happened was okay or letting the other person off the hook.
Not at all. It's about recognizing that the energy you've been pouring into, maintaining that identity, the hurt one, the angry one, that energy is now needed elsewhere. It needs to be free to move.
And crucially, this doesn't mean you have to talk to the person or reconcile or anything like that.
Absolutely not. This is an internal process. It just means you are choosing to stop dedicating your precious present life force to rerunning a painful story from the past.
You're reclaiming the emotional real estate that person or situation used to occupy in your head.
Beautifully put. You're taking back your space.
Okay, so that's forgiving others, but honestly, sometimes the harder work, the quieter, maybe more draining loop, that's the one we run on ourselves, isn't it? Self-forgiveness.
Oh, absolutely. This is often the sneakier one. It's that constant low-grade whisper of self-judgment, usually fueled by variations of the same question. How could I have been so stupid, so slow, so afraid, so reckless?
Yeah. I used to have this mental highlight reel. Seriously, every bad financial choice, every opportunity I hesitated on, every time I let fear win, I thought replaying it was like critical self-reflection.
Yeah.
Necessary, you know?
We tell ourselves we're learning from it.
Right. But I realize now, looking back, I wasn't learning anything new. I was just resentencing myself for the same crime over and over again. No new insights, just more punishment.
That's exactly what happens. Regret, when you keep replaying it, it stops being a reflection and it becomes a verdict. Guilty.
And the moment you decide you were wrong, you create the split inside, don't you?
You do. You create a divided self. There's the part of you doing the judging and the part of you feeling ashamed or guilty.
And maintaining that internal conflict takes a ton of energy.
Huge amounts.
Yeah.
You're basically forcing your body to recreate the neurochemical state of the original failure or mistake over and over. You're marinating in the shame of the past.
Which naturally makes it almost impossible to feel confident or secure enough to act boldly now in the present.
Exactly. You can't move forward when you're constantly looking backward with judgment.
So the turning point here,
Yeah.
it has to be shifting from that judgment to something else.
To understanding. You have to stop punishing the past version of you who made that choice.
I started trying to think about it like, how would I treat a friend who told me they made that same choice? If they were exhausted, scared, didn't have all the info, I wouldn't call them an idiot. I'd try to understand.
That's the key, compassion.
Yeah.
And we need to interrupt that self-judgment loop with a different kind of internal dialogue, a new chemistry.
How do we do that?
We shift the question. We stop asking the accusatory, why did you do that? Which just invites more self-blame. And instead, we ask a much more compassionate, almost diagnostic question. What did you need back then that you didn't have when you made that choice?
Ah, okay. What did you need that you didn't have?
Yeah. And when you ask that question with genuine curiosity, not judgment, the answers are usually incredibly practical, rooted in basic human needs.
Like, I needed reassurance, I needed more information, I needed clearer boundaries.
Exactly. Or I needed clarity, I needed support. Maybe I just needed more time, or even just a good night's sleep.
These are needs. They're not moral failings. They're just data points about the conditions back then.
Precisely. They are neutral. And seeing those past choices through the lens of unmet needs, rather than as character flaws or sins, it just dissolves that sharp, agonizing edge of guilt almost
Yeah,
instantly.
because he frames the whole thing.
It does. And that internal integration, that's stopping the internal war,
Yeah.
it gives you an immediate energetic return. It's like closing a massive energy leak.
So self-forgiveness is really about internal alignment, getting all parts of you back on the same team.
It's the most powerful form. It's basically giving yourself permission to start creating again, because you're not wasting energy fighting yourself anymore.
All that energy that was tied up in self-criticism or regret, It just flows back.
It rushes back into your creative current.
Mm.
And it doesn't just disappear. It brings depth, texture, momentum.
So those wrong turns or mistakes, they aren't erased.
No, not at all.
Mm.
They get repurposed. They become the lived experience, the hard-won wisdom, the resilience that makes you uniquely capable now.
The mind that was busy judging the past is now free to imagine and build the future.
Beautiful. You stop being divided, and the energy just flows.
Okay, this idea of reclaiming energy, closing loops, it feels so right on a psychological level, a spiritual level even. But what really gets me excited is that, modern science, our own biochemistry, actually backs this up. It gives us a measurable report card for this whole process.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
This isn't just wishful thinking. Forgiveness, whether it's of others or yourself,
Yeah.
is a somatic intervention.
Mhm.
It physically changes the chemistry your body produces.
How so?
Well, think about holding a grudge. That state of resentment or constant regret. You're basically putting your system under chronic, high-level stress. You're keeping yourself in a state of perpetual defense.
Fight or flight, essentially, but drawn out.
Exactly. And the most direct way we see this is with our stress hormones. When that energetic subscription to the past is active, your body is constantly pumping out cortisol.
Cortisol, the big stress hormone.
Right. And cortisol is great for short bursts, escaping danger.
Yeah.
But chronic, elevated cortisol, it's like a slow poison.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps your body constantly braced for impact. It slows down repair functions, messes with your immune system, and this is really key. It actually dampens the function of your prefrontal cortex,
The thinking part of the brain.
the rational, planning, decision-making part. That's why when you're really deep in resentment or regret, your clarity just plummets.
Yeah.
You literally can't think strategically because your brain is stuck in reaction mode, not reflection mode.
Wow. Okay, so forgiveness then acts like a biological off switch for that stress.
Precisely. Releasing that resentment, that judgment, actively and almost immediately lowers cortisol levels.
Mm-hmm.
Your body gets the message. Okay, emergency over, stand down.
That's huge. And is there a corresponding upside? Like, does anything increase?
Yes. We see a related surge in oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Yeah.
Isn't that the love hormone or the bonding hormone?
It gets called that, yeah, but its role is much broader. It's crucial for rebuilding a sense of internal trust and safety. It soothes the nervous system. It helps shift your whole physiological state from that constant defense mode into connection mode.
Connection mode.
A state of rest, digest, heal, repair. A state of openness. It's where your body conserves and optimizes energy instead of constantly spending it on vigilance.
This isn't just theory, right? There's research on this.
Oh, absolutely. The research context is really solid here. You look at the work of Dr. Fred Luskin at the Stanford Forgiveness Project.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
His study showed pretty definitively that people who consistently practice forgiveness didn't just feel better. They had tangible, measurable results.
Like what?
Significant drops in blood pressure, major reductions in reported anxiety and hostility, and interestingly, a measurable increase in overall vitality and optimism. It's like an internal upgrade with a direct physical payoff.
That's fascinating. It connects to other ideas too, doesn't it?
It really does. It reminds me a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work on emotional addiction.
The idea that we can get hooked on our own negative emotions.
Exactly. He talks about how repeating emotions like anger or feeling like a victim or guilt, they carve out these super efficient neural pathways. The body basically learns to associate those chemical cocktails with baseline, with what's familiar.
So the body starts to crave those negative feelings.
In a way, yes. It becomes chemically conditioned. It literally sends out demand signals, prompting the mind to replay the old scenarios, the old hurts, just so the body can get its fix of those familiar, albeit painful, chemicals.
Wow. That is the ultimate tether to the past, isn't it? Your
Yeah.
own body demanding you stay stuck there.
It really is.
Yeah.
Your body is running yesterday's emotional operating system. And the only way to upgrade, to break free, is to consciously interrupt that neurochemical feedback loop.
And forgiveness is the tool to do that.
It's the act of consciously denying the body its fix of the past chemicals. It forces the system to reset its baseline to something new, something healthier.
It's amazing how the science lines up. And it also resonates with, more ancient spiritual wisdom, doesn't it? This idea of changing states.
It absolutely does. This functional biological understanding finds a really beautiful parallel in principles like the law of transmutation.
Transmutation, changing form.
Exactly. It's a core idea in many traditions. You find it strongly in, like, the Hermetic philosophy compiled in the Kabbalion. It states a really fundamental truth about how reality works. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It only changes form.
Okay. So applying that here, we don't need to worry about getting rid of anger or guilt.
No, you can't destroy the energy. But you can change its form. You could change its frequency.
So anger, guilt, shame, they are inherently bad energy.
Not inherently bad, no. Think of them as just dense, slow-moving, low-frequency forms of energy. They represent compressed power, power that is stuck.
Okay. So the alchemy, the transmutation, that's the process of changing that frequency.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's not about destruction, it's transformation. When you meet these dense emotional energies, the anger, the guilt, with awareness, with neutrality, with compassion, which is really the energetic signature of forgiveness, they don't just evaporate, they transmute. The actual energetic structure changes. It rises in frequency.
So that dense, bound-up energy converts into something else.
Yes, into higher frequency forms, like wisdom, discernment, clarity, even creative power. The energy is liberated.
I love thinking about the word emotion itself. Emotion. Energy in motion.
That's it, exactly. And the creation of these energy loops we've been talking about, that happens when we stop or resist that natural motion.
When we try to block the grief or suppress the anger or deny the fear.
Right. We create a jam in the circuit. The energy gets stuck. And the body, trying to resolve it, just keeps recreating the same thought-emotion chemistry over and over, waiting for the circuit to finally complete.
So forgiveness is the act of consciously completing that circuit, letting the current move again.
Yes. Allowing it to flow through awareness, which transforms its character as it moves. It's the essential bridge, really, between a stuck past experience and an open future possibility.
Okay, so understanding this intellectually is one thing, and it's powerful. But actually feeling this shift, this alchemy in your body, that's where the real magic happens.
Absolutely. The knowing has to land in the body to become real. So let's move from the theory into practice. We want to give you 3 really actionable foundational tools you can use to start closing these loops, like right now.
Right. Let's get practical.
Okay, this first practice is incredibly powerful for the somatic release, the physical letting go of energy you've invested in an old story. It gives your mind, especially your subconscious, a clear signal that the energy is being officially withdrawn.
Okay. So what do we do?
Find a quiet moment, just for a few minutes. Let yourself settle. Now bring to mind the person or the situation, or maybe even the past version of yourself that you've really struggled to forgive. Just gently allow that image or the feeling associated with it to surface. No need to force it.
Okay, got it.
Now imagine you're going to write a letter. You can physically get out pen and paper, which could be very powerful. Or you can do this entirely in your mind's eye, like in the theater of your mind. Address it to that person or that situation.
All right.
And you begin the letter with this specific, really core phrase. Say it internally or write it down. And really try to feel it land in your system as you do. I release the need for this to have gone differently.
I release the need for this to have gone differently.
Yeah. Just pause there for a second. Notice anything that happens inside. Any resistance, or maybe a little sigh. A slight warmth. That feeling, that's the initial static of the loop starting to dissolve. Let it flow. Let your pen move, or let your thoughts pour out, completely uncensored. And this is key. This is alchemy, not diplomacy. Meaning don't filter yourself. Don't worry about being polite or fair. Write out the raw hurt, the confusion, what you really wish they had understood or done. And also, importantly, what lesson, maybe painful but profound, got carved into you because of this. Get the whole unvarnished story out.
Let it all out.
All of it. The length doesn't matter at all. Completeness does. Keep going until you feel like the emotion behind it has been fully expressed, like the story feels told. Exhausted.
Okay, then what?
Then we move to the physical act of release. This is crucial for signaling to your deeper mind that the transaction is truly finished.
So if I wrote it down?
If you wrote it, you absolutely must destroy it. Safely, of course. Burn it carefully. Tear it into tiny, tiny pieces like dust. Or if it's a digital file, delete it completely and empty the trash.
And if I just did it mentally?
If it was mental, Visualize those words, that whole letter, lifting off the mental page like soft gray smoke. Watch it rise up and just completely dissolve into the clear air, leaving nothing behind.
Got it.
And as you do this, as you perform this symbolic act, the burning, tearing, deleting, or dissolving state, this clearly and firmly, really internalizing the intention. I take back the energy I invested in this story.
I take back the energy I invested in this story.
Yes, feel that. This is the moment of conscious, energetic reclamation. Your system registers. Okay, circuit complete, energy return.
Yeah.
Now just take a nice, clean, slow breath in. Notice if there's even a tiny bit more space in your chest, a little expansion. That's the feeling of the current coming back to you lighter, freer, and ready for you to use.
Okay, that feels powerful. What's next?
Next, we use a technique that's more about cognitive restructuring, using the mind to shift the energy. We call it energy loop mapping.
Mapping the loop.
Yeah, it's about decoding the signal that's hidden underneath the noise of the pain. It uses your intellect to consciously transform that old emotional charge into functional wisdom you can use today.
Okay, how does that work?
First, just take a moment to identify maybe 2 or 3 situations, or maybe names or memories, or even just internal phrases that consistently trigger you. You know, the things that still have that emotional hook that hijack your focus and pull you right back into those old low-frequency feelings.
All right. Can probably think of a few.
Most of us can. Now, just choose one of them to work with for now, just one loop. And instead of digging into the pain of it again, we're going to change tracks. We're going to translate its frequency.
Translate the frequency. Okay.
We do this by asking 2 specific conversion questions. And give yourself some space, some quiet to really hear the answers. Don't rush it.
Okay, what are the questions?
Okay, question 1. Ask yourself, regarding this specific loop or situation, what profound pattern or necessary lesson was this whole experience actually trying to show me?
Hmm. What pattern or lesson was this trying to show me?
Yeah, let that percolate. Then the second question, what essential strength did I develop specifically because I went through this?
Ah. What strength that I developed because of it? Not in spite of it, but because of it.
Exactly. That distinction is crucial. The power here is in recognizing that the pain wasn't just random suffering. It was instructive, even if it didn't feel like it at the time.
So maybe the betrayal forced me to develop really fierce boundaries I didn't have before.
Perfect example. Or maybe the rejection pushed you, finally, to find your validation from within, not from others.
Or maybe the failure showed me a depth of resilience, of grit, that I honestly wouldn't have known I possessed otherwise.
Yes. This whole process is about consciously reframing. It's psychological alchemy. You are deliberately retraining your nervous system. You're training your brain to stop automatically tagging that memory with danger
My pain.
and instead tag it with wisdom gained, strength built.
Okay, so once I have the lesson or the strength, what then?
Now, identify the core word that represents that wisdom or strength,
Uh,
the high-frequency signal word. And mentally or physically, if you like, place that word right next to the painful memory or trigger word.
can you give some examples?
Sure. So the agonizing feeling of betrayal. Then maybe the signal word that comes up is discernment. You learn deep discernment.
Okay.
Or the sting of rejection. Maybe that transforms into the anchor of self-worth.
Right.
Or the shame around a past failure. Maybe that translates into the momentum of resilience. Or maybe ingenuity. Or humility. Whatever feels true for you.
Got it. Betrayal becomes discernment. Rejection becomes self-worth. Failure becomes resilience.
Exactly. You are not denying what happened. You're not pretending it wasn't painful, but you are consciously choosing to harvest the functional outcome, the strength, the wisdom.
You've literally turned the trap into a teacher.
That's it. You've converted dense, painful emotional history into a readily available skill set for your present and future.
Wow. Okay, that's very practical. What's the third tool?
This last one in this set is a guided practice, more of a spiritual alchemy using visualization and intention. So find a comfortable position, just let your body settle, soften your shoulders, release any tension in your jaw. Maybe take one slow, gentle breath in and out.
Okay, settled.
Good. Now, in your mind's eye, picture yourself standing or sitting in a space where you feel completely safe and peaceful. And before you, imagine a soft, tall, calm column of beautiful violet flame.
Violet flame.
Yes, but it's not a hot, aggressive fire. Think of it more like liquid amethyst light. It glows softly, maybe it hums quietly. With a frequency of pure compassion, transmutation, and grace. Just see it there.
Okay, I can picture that.
Wonderful. Now, gently imagine that you're holding in your hands a small, perhaps surprisingly heavy orb of dense emotional energy. This represents the residue of whatever pain or density you've been carrying. Maybe it's guilt, lingering resentment, deep sorrow. Just acknowledge its presence. Yeah. Maybe notice its color, its texture, its weight in your hands. Feel its density.
Holding the orb.
Now, take another deep, slow breath in, and as you exhale, very softly, with immense care and intention, gently place that heavy orb directly into the very heart of the violet flame.
Placing it in the flame.
Yes, and just watch what happens next.
Yeah.
The orb doesn't get destroyed or burn away in an aggressive way. Instead, it begins to transform.
Transform how?
Watch it swirl within the violet light. Maybe it shifts color, turning brighter. Perhaps flecks of gold appear at the edges. See it becoming lighter, less dense, rising up within the flame until it transmutes into pure, neutral light, joining the air, the space around you. The energy is no longer stuck or compressed. It's free. It's purified. It's available again.
Wow. Okay. Watching it transform and dissolve into light.
Now just take several slow, quiet, restorative breaths. As you inhale, imagine breathing that soft violet light right into your chest, into your heart space, clearing out any remaining residue. As you exhale, release any final little bits of clinging resistance or tension. Just breathe with the violet light for a few moments. Now, when you feel ready, maybe place a hand gently over your heart, just anchoring this new feeling, this new frequency in your body, and whisper this quiet, firm affirmation to yourself. Just a gentle whisper, slowly and softly. I am clear. I am free. I am whole.
I am clear. I am free. I am whole.
Let that land, that quietness, that sense of internal space. That's the feeling, the vibration of integrated forgiveness. You've just consciously participated in the cycle of transmutation, converting the heavy stuff from the past into living, available energy for right now.
Those tools are incredibly powerful for doing the deeper work. But what about, in the moment, when an old trigger pops up unexpectedly during the day?
Yes. That's where the real mastery comes in, right?
Sure.
Applying this in real time. We call this manifestation debug mode.
Debug mode, like for software?
Kind of. It's about intercepting an old emotional program, an old loop, the very moment it tries to start up and siphon your energy, and then consciously rewriting the code on the fly.
Okay, I like that analogy. How do we do it?
First, and this is crucial, we have to learn to identify the trigger when it happens. Not primarily as a thought, oh, there I go, think about that again, but as a physical event in the body.
So pay attention to the body first.
Immediately. Think about a recent time when a familiar irritation or pain point surfaced. Maybe a memory flashed, someone used a certain tone of voice, you saw an email, and you felt that specific old pang of anger or hurt or anxiety.
Okay.
The instant you notice that, stop the mental story. Don't analyze why you're feeling it yet. Instead, shift your focus entirely to your body. Ask yourself, where exactly does this loop live physically?
Not in my head, but where in my body?
Because it's not really in your thinking brain, the neocortex. The root of the loop, the trigger point, is embedded in your nervous system. Is it that sudden clench deep in your gut, a tightening or lump in your throat, a hot, sharp spike of tension across your shoulders or in your jaw?
Find the physical location.
Yes. And when you pinpoint that physical sensation, just recognize it instantly, with neutrality, without judgment. See it simply as, there's that old piece of energetic code trying to rerun itself.
Like an old program trying to launch.
Exactly. It's an outdated signal attempting to hijack your current operating system. Just seeing it that way, just the awareness itself, that's the first step of the rewrite. You're observing the habit from the outside, not getting swept away by it.
That pause, that noticing is the interruption.
It's the moment of interception. If you can just pause even for 3 seconds, breathe, and locate the physical sensation, you gain immediate leverage. You're no longer unconsciously reacting.
Okay, so I've caught the trigger. I've located the physical sensation. Now what?
Now, we approach that sensation with curiosity, not hostility. We ask the system, gently, what information is still trying to get through? What signal is embedded in that physical discomfort?
So we talk to the feeling.
In a sense, yes.
Yeah.
We use our first diagnostic question to get beneath the surface reaction, like the anger or frustration. Question 1. Understanding the emotion. Ask that part of you, that sensation. What does this emotion, this feeling, still want me to understand or acknowledge about my underlying needs in that original situation, or maybe even right now?
What does this want me to understand about my needs?
Yeah. And just wait quietly for the answer. Don't force it. It might be a quiet whisper. I just wanted to be respected. Or I felt unheard back then. Or maybe I felt really unsafe. It's usually something simple and fundamental.
Acknowledging the unmet need behind the reaction.
Then we identify the mechanism that's been using that emotion as a protective shield. We ask the second crucial question. Question 2. Identifying the protector. Ask yourself, what specific identity, what image of myself am I trying to protect by continuing to hold on to this anger, this hurt, this defensiveness?
What identity am I protecting? That's interesting.
It often reveals a deeply ingrained self-concept. Maybe it's,
Yeah.
I'm protecting the one who was right, or I'm protecting the one who must never be fooled again.
Or maybe the one who can't afford to let my guard down.
And just seeing that identity, that protector part, the insight itself is incredibly powerful.
Why?
Because you're seeing the mechanism. You're recognizing that this protector role was probably essential for you in the past. But you're also realizing in this present moment that you are much bigger than that protective identity. You don't have to fight it or hate it. You just acknowledge its past service and recognize that you've likely evolved beyond needing it in the exact same way now.
Okay, so I see the need, I see the protector identity. How do I actually release it in the moment?
We use the breath. The breath is the most direct way to communicate safety and release to the deepest parts of our nervous system, bypassing the analytical mind.
Right. Breath work.
Simple but profound. Take a deep, full inhale. And as you draw the breath in, imagine you're breathing pure, white, clean, soothing light directly into that area of your body where you felt the tension, the protection, that knot in your stomach, the tightness in your chest or throat. Fill that area with light.
Okay, breathing light into the tight spot.
Yes. Now exhale slowly, gently, perhaps through your mouth, making an ah sound if that feels right. And as you breathe out, visualize that old identity, the rigidity, the armor, the protective shell around that spot, just relaxing, softening, dissolving like mist or smoke on the out-breath.
Okay, exhaling the old identity, letting it soften and dissolve.
Do this for maybe 5 full conscious breath cycles, inhaling light and spaciousness, exhaling the tension, the old story. Each slow exhale is like telling your body through the vagus nerve, it's okay, it's safe to let this particular story go now.
5 breaths. In light, out story.
Exactly. Now notice how that physical sensation might have shifted. Maybe it's lessened, softened, moved. Once you feel even a slight easing of that emotional charge or physical tension, it's time for the final active step. Reclamation.
Reclaiming the energy again.
Yes. Picture all the energy that was locked up in that whole loop, the energy of the repetitive thoughts, the stress chemicals, the muscle tension. Imagine all that power now flowing back into your core, maybe settling warmly in your chest or your hands. See it returning to you, but now it's neutral, pure, available potential.
Getting the power back.
Yes. And state this silently or whisper it aloud with real conviction. I receive the energy I once invested in this story. I am ready to use it for something new right now.
I receive the energy. I'm ready to use it for something new right now.
Feel that quiet sense of being grounded, maybe a feeling of inner spaciousness or readiness. That is a physical vibration of resistance that has been successfully converted back into pure possibility. You've debugged the loop in real time. What does this really mean for someone listening? We've gone from understanding forgiveness intellectually to actually practicing these techniques. It feels like we've moved forgiveness from being this heavy, maybe guilt-ridden concept into something alive, a tangible felt vibration in the body.
That's the goal, isn't it? To make it a lived experience, not just a theory.
And the fundamental shift, the big takeaway from this deep dive, seems to be moving our focus. Moving away from being stuck on the past, fixated on what they did, or why did I do that, or why did this happen?
Obsessing over the unchangeable.
Right. And shifting into intentional creation of the present. Asking instead, what energy do I choose to generate now? Or what do I want to create next with this reclaimed energy?
Exactly. You've done the work maybe through the letter, the mapping, the flame, the debug to clear the space. You've acknowledged the past, felt the feelings, extracted the wisdom.
Keeping the wisdom, shedding the weight.
Perfectly put. You keep the earned clarity, the resilience, the self-worth, the boundary awareness, but you release the heavy, draining, energetic charge of the resentment or the guilt itself. So when we strip it all down, Jared, what's the big takeaway here? Why does this approach to forgiveness matter so much?
For me, Alicia, the ultimate truth that emerges is this. Forgiveness, viewed this way, is fundamentally about reclaiming your own precious life force. It's not primarily about being noble or pious.
Although it might feel noble afterwards. But the motivation is self-liberation. There's a great line that captures this perfectly. Forgiveness is how you stop dragging yesterday into your frequency today.
I love that. Stop dragging yesterday into your frequency today.
Yeah.
Because that's what those loops do, right? They keep the vibration of the past playing out now.
Constantly. But by doing this work, by engaging in these practices, you have literally changed the chemistry of your body. You've altered the energetic signal you are sending out.
Lower the cortisol, increase the oxytocin.
Create an internal spaciousness, close the circuits, you've changed your internal frequency.
Yeah.
And because your inner state influences your outer reality,
Your reality will start to shift.
it has to. Your external world will begin to subtly, or maybe not so subtly, rearrange itself to reflect that new internal alignment of clarity, freedom, and available energy. You'll notice different opportunities, attract different interactions, feel differently in familiar situations.
That's incredibly empowering. So now that the energy is potentially flowing more freely, now that maybe some of those protective, painful identities have softened, here's the final provocative thought for you to ponder.
Okay.
With this fresh infusion of reclaimed, potent energy, what new creation is calling to you? What project have you been putting off? What bold possibility feels a little closer now? What are you ready to use this fuel for starting today?
Turning the reclaimed energy into action, into
Okay.
creation.
Yes. And to help anchor this transformation into your daily life this week, we really encourage you to try a little microactive integration. It's super simple.
Okay, what is it?
Sometime today or tomorrow, just think of any small, lingering irritation, regret, or resentment. Doesn't have to be huge. And just write down or even just say aloud that key phrase, I release the need for this to have gone differently.
Just that one sentence.
Just that sentence. Say it, maybe read it back to yourself, and then just pause and notice. Notice the subtle physical shift that might follow in your body. A little softening, maybe a slightly easier breath.
That feeling is the shift.
That feeling is the vibration of freedom returning to you. That softening is the alchemy happening in real time.
Beautiful.
You truly are the alchemist of your own energy. Every single thing you choose to forgive within yourself or towards others becomes potent fuel for your greatest creations and your deepest peace.
It's an ongoing practice, but the freedom it brings is immeasurable.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep breathing that light. Keep walking forward in your power and let that beautiful new current of energy circulate freely through your life.
Something to definitely explore. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you, Alicia. And thank you all for joining us on Vibrations and Manifestations. Take care, everyone.